The Minnesota Twins are quite literally shocking the entire MLB right now. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Bad for Baseball, the baddest baseball podcast on the internet, presented to you guys by Betway. Minnesota Twins, 10-game winning streak. Are you kidding me? They were 7 games below 500, kind of in the tank, and then they have turned it on and have just gone nuclear. We're going to dive into how they're doing it and whether or not this can continue. Before we do, though, please make sure to hit that like, smash the subscribe button, and, of course, let us know your thoughts about all this in the comments down below. Minnesota Twins. I mean, 10 games ago, you would have looked at the standings. You would have been pretty depressed if you were a Minnesota fan. Now you're looking over at it, and you're certainly feeling, a lot better about where you're at.
Oh, yeah, that's what happens when you have a 10-game win streak as the Twins, right? And what's crazy is this is the second season in a row that this kind of comeback has happened. Because speaking of 10 games ago, like you were talking about, you look over at where they were. They were 13-20 in the MLB. That's a terrible start. We're thinking, the Twins are cooked, da-da-da-da-da. They win, obviously, 10 straight. They're now 23-20. But again, like I alluded to, they did the same thing last year with the 12-game win streak after starting 7-13, which would have made them, quick maths, 19-13. So, yeah, and that's got them right there back in the standings. Back in the standings. They're 4th in the American League Central. Little side note, the Central is actually loaded this year.
It's kind of nuts, actually. Yeah,
right? Because you got the Tigers that are legit, like, AL contenders this season. The Guardians are the Guardians. They're like the Tampa Bay Rays of the Central. They'll claw their way back in with some good fundamental baseball. The Royals had a big month of, like, late April, early May. They were, like, 17-2 at one point in that like stretch. They went on a crazy run. Then the Twins and of course the White Sox. So yeah, Twins are right back in it, and they're getting contributions from guys that they really aren't expecting to get contributions from.
Yeah, definitely, man. Now before we continue and talk about who they're getting contributions from, I did just take a look because again, historic win streak. All this is good. Does it mean anything? Last year, just to remind everybody, did not make playoffs.
I know they didn't.
Did not make playoffs. I just looked back and checked that.
Oh, yeah, but that's actually one of the things I was going to bring up. Just because you have a big win streak, you still have pretty much the same team they had. I mean, not to totally derail what we're talking about, which is this great win streak they got, but looking back at, the offseason, they didn't do anything.
No, they did literally next to nothing.
Like, they basically got Harrison Bader, I'm pretty sure, and that was it, which is actually doing very good right now.
He is. And, credit to the guys that are performing right now, man. Looking up and down that Minnesota squad, the big thing for me is the pitching right now. In this 10-game win streak, you are getting contributions from everybody. Looking at the last 15 days, Minnesota Twins, in terms of an ERA standpoint, they are ranked 4th in all of baseball. They have a 3.09 ERA. That's including 3 losses as well, which I anticipate probably in that period of time. They gave up more runs, obviously, than they have done in the 10-game win streak, right? So this pitching staff is definitely carrying a big load. Looking over the guys that are doing it, I mean, Joe Ryan, you were bringing it up to me prior to recording, kind of the guy right now.
Yeah, he is. He definitely is. And Joe Ryan's kind of been that dude that, Minnesota Twins fans have been kind of waiting as being that ace, like breaking out as that ace. Last year, he had a decent little breakout, right? He jumped from a 4.51 ERA in 2023 to a 3.60. This season, he's off to a phenomenal start with a 2.74 ERA. He's been one of the better pitchers in all of baseball. And, when you have that guy leading your rotation, you, of course, got Pablo Lopez, which you're going to get good starts from. He's got a 2.77 ERA.
Yeah, he's having a great year to start off.
Yeah, like those two guys, like leading the rotation. Bailey Ober's a good middle depth rotation piece. Simeon Woods Richardson has had a rough patch to go, but they're still excited about him, but that's not a bad 4th guy. And the same with Chris Paddock. So you got some guys leading the rotation and limiting those runs, and you'd think during a big 10-game win streak that the offense was going to pop off and be amazing if you're going to win 10 in a row, but it hasn't been like that spectacular. They're just getting great timely hitting.
Yeah, like honestly, they're just hitting in the clutch moments right now. Just across the last 15 days, you're talking about an offense that is actually ranked 15th in baseball in terms of runs scored and in terms of OPS. So again, like nothing that's jumping off the page. Like this doesn't scream to me 10-game win streak.
Yeah.
But of course, they are obviously getting those contributions where they need to. And when you're looking at the 10 games that they have won, there's a lot of games in there where it's like, oh, we win 4-3. Like we win 5-4, right?
Yeah.
So it's like they are whenever they need to come up clutch, they are doing so right now. And ultimately, that's what you need if you're, a winning baseball team.
Yeah, and a win is a win is a win. So they're back in the win column. But that does beg the question, do we believe in this Minnesota Twin team to actually continue this winning streak? Well, obviously, it's all going to come to an end eventually. But do you think they're going to be this caliber of a team moving forward for the rest of the season?
And you know what? I do want to bring up very quickly, because we're talking about Simeon Woods Richardson.
Yeah.
So I picked him up in my fantasy league, right? Because, again, I saw, Minnesota's going crazy.
Right.
Simeon Woods Richardson, this was yesterday, all right? He gave up 6 earned runs in 4 innings.
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
Bad start.
That's really bad.
That's a really, really bad start. Offense picked them up. They won 8-6 over Baltimore, right? And that was after they already won a previous game 6-3. So just kind of further illustrating the point where they are getting the hitting when they need the hitting.
And I know in that game, because I have, speaking of fantasy, I've got Trevor Larnach picked up in a really deep fantasy league. Never thought I'd be picking that guy up, but he's a big reason why the Twins are twinning right now in a good positive way. Looking over at Trevor Larnach right now, he on the team has got a 302 batting average in the last 15 days with an OPS of 879 and 3 home runs. He's there with Byron Buxton. I mean, we've been talking about the Twins for a long time on this channel. Like, if Byron Buxton's on the field, he will play good baseball. Everybody knows this. And he's on the field right now. He's playing good baseball. And then again, another guy in this top 3 in hits in the last 15 days, Harrison Bader. I brought him up a little bit earlier. This guy's batting .438 down there in the 9 spot. Like, where is that coming from?
Yeah.
But then you look at the rest of the team, and there's no one really standing out to you. I mean, yeah, Christian Vasquez has been pretty good lately. Cody Clemens, what is that guy going to be? He's been pretty decent. But that's kind of it, man.
I think when I look at this Twins lineup, like, I do see a lineup, and I think when we broke them down actually in the season preview, I see a lineup that is, middle of the pack.
Yeah.
Right? And it can be, there can be stretches, I can imagine, where it's really good, right? Because we haven't even brought up Royce Lewis. Royce Lewis is just coming back from a big hamstring injury. He is off to a slow start, but you got to imagine, like, he's one of those guys that when he gets going better than anyone. Right? So I do anticipate he's going to be good at some point. Same with Carlos Correa, right? Like, Carlos Correa is, the resume speaks for itself. The guy is a good baseball player. Eventually, you're going to get contributions. However, when that happens, well, maybe Trevor Larnach's not being so good. So I still look at this offense as a, mid to maybe slightly above average offense. I think what is making the difference for me and why I am buying it a little bit is because I can get behind that pitching staff, and I can believe in Joe Ryan, and I can believe in Pablo Lopez. And even though Simeon Woods Richardson, for instance, isn't off to the greatest start, I know that he's a young kid. I know that he's a top prospect. Chris Paddock, for instance, I mean, that was somebody that, used to be really, really good at baseball. Off to a, middling start right now, but I can get behind that name.
Yeah.
And then when you look over at the bullpen.
The bullpen's insane,
This is where it just goes above and beyond.
Yeah.
They are keeping you in the game. Always keeping you in the game, okay? The starter gives up 3 or 4 or what have you. That's fine, because the bullpen is going to limit it to that 3 and 4. Johan Duran, arguably one of the best guys to have in the back end of your bullpen. And then the list just goes on and on and on. And you were bringing it up to me the last 14 days.
Last 14 days.
Look at all that. Look at that red, baby.
Duran is number 1 in baseball in terms of relief pitching in the last 14 days. Cole Sands, this guy's having a big year right now. He's 28th in the last 14 days. And then you got Danny Columbi. I don't even know how to say his name.
Has not given up an earned run in 16.2 innings.
That's crazy. Like, that's what makes your bullpen elite. So as long as the Minnesota Twins, and I'm with you, as long as the Minnesota Twins pitching staff keeps it together for the season, that's what always makes the Twins really good. I mean, in the past, it used to be the offense. They've kind of done a little bit of a 180. Now they got to rely on the pitching, and if the pitching could be there, they could be good. And you got to hope that guys like Byron Buxton, Royce Lewis, they could stay healthy, because that was kind of our key to their long season success as well.
That is definitely a big thing as well. Like, I look at this team, and I personally don't see a ton of depth, right? Like, if they, for instance, lost, Pablo Lopez, or if they lost, Byron Buxton up there, okay, now I'm looking at this squad a lot differently. When everybody is healthy, though, this is a rather complete team. No, it's not the LA Dodgers. No, it's not the New York Mets. But it's a complete enough team, in my opinion, that when you're looking at the entirety of the American League, you can compete. And I could see this squad, should everybody stay healthy, occupying a wild card spot come September, come October.
That's true, and they'll absolutely be in it, guys. But if you think they're going to do even better and maybe win the division, even though they're fourth right now, win the division, you can bet on it on Betway. Hit your picks and knock it out of the park with Betway. Scan the QR code right here on the screen, or click the link in the details section to join the action. Only available in Ontario. Must be 19 plus. Please play responsibly. It's 6.5 for them. Times your money to win the division.
That's interesting. That's making me think about it.
It's not a terrible line.
Yeah, it's making me think about it. However,
you know?
we do need to bring up the fact that this division is kind of top tier right now.
Yeah.
White Sox are obviously White Soxing better than they did last year, but still, they're not an actual factor into any of this. But Detroit is arguably the best team in the American League at this
100%.
current moment. Actually,
Yeah,
I don't even
they
think
are.
it's arguable. They are the best team.
Yeah.
They might even be the best fucking team in MLB at this
Ooh.
point. So Detroit, very, very good. Cleveland, we know that they are a thorn in everybody's side. I mean, I know that everyone was off of them this year. I was never really off of them because, again, they went to the semifinals last year. They are here. They're winning ball games again.
It's crazy when you trade away Jimenez, Josh Naylor, and then you don't really adjust the pitching staff, and somehow you still put out a winning ball team. I call them the Rays of the Central.
Sure,
They're the Rays of the
100%,
Central.
dude. They are the Rays of the Central, and they are doing it once again. Kansas City. Can they continue? And then you got the Twins. So this is a tough division for them. But if you believe in it, 6.5 times your money for Minnesota Twins to make a run at it. I'm gonna be honest though. I mean, maybe they can beat out Cleveland. Maybe they can beat out Kansas City.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna beat out Detroit with the
Detroit,
way that they're playing.
Detroit's a heavy favorite. 1.5 basically. 1.55 times your money.
And I actually don't hate that
That's
either.
a pretty good
But
line.
you guys let us know what you think about all this in the comments down below, folks. Please hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, and of course, we will catch you next time.
Cheers.